The Sketch-O Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, up until now you've seen the creature perform the simple mechanics of motor activity, but for what you are about to see next, we must enter quietly into the realm of genius. Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, Damen und Herren, from what was once an inarticulate mass of lifeless tissues, may I now present a cultured, sophisticated man about town. Hit it!
The Sketch-O-Matic Show. Sketch-O-Matic.
So after a short hiatus, I've decided to bring back the pod
Sketchy.
for a triple back-to-back-to-back episodes being released all at the same damn time. And, well, this podcast is now featured on the iHeartRadio app. Ladies and gentlemen, good folks tuning in, all 13 of you.
Wow.
So it's exciting news. I did take a break. As I stated on the last episode that, booking guests could be rather difficult.
Oh, boy, you.
But in the process of helping a friend set up her podcast, I discovered that Spotify for Podcasters added the iHR RSS feed to their distribution platform, meaning I can get on iHeartRadio app now, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So I just decided, let's bring back the podcast. And in order to bring it back, I had to re-invite one of my dear friends who's just evolved into a bigger rock star DJ since the last time I saw her. She's traveled the world, and she's been gracious enough to spend this conversation with me. So without further ado, let's hear from DJ Lezlee. DJ Lezlee.
Oh, thank you for having me, and welcome back.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
How are you?
Amazing.
Where have
Fantastic.
you been? There's so much to ask you about right off the top. I'll tell you right now. I've been keeping up with you on social, on your IG, your stories, we were just off podcast air talking in the hallway, and I was like, man, Lezlee, you should throw like a DJ throwdown at the top of like the Hollywood Hills, Hollywood Sign Mountain, and just like DJ, have like a hiking party sponsored by Celsius. That's a fake sponsor, by the way. That's not real. I'm just saying this is all speculation in my mind, right?
Manifesting.
I'm manifesting.
Yes, I like
so we do a hiking party.
Okay.
Bring some equipment up there, right near the antennas of the Hollywood sign, and people. The only way to go there, it's free,
right?
But you have to hike up there.
Yes.
That's the price of admission. You got to work out,
that.
right? You wear a weighted vest. Well, maybe some people won't do that.
You got to work for it. You got to work to party.
You got to work to party with DJ Lezlee.
I love that. We can hand out bananas at the top.
Oh, bananas, some potassium.
Well, they do that after every marathon and half marathon. They always hand you a banana. So that'd be pretty cool.
Speaking of marathon, didn't you run a marathon recently?
I ran a half marathon.
A half marathon.
Yeah, I was
Which is like a full marathon to you? No, see, because... Is that bad? Thank you. I'll be here till they fire me. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I just got the Future Endeavors email from Peak.
You're crazy. No, I was going to run the LA Marathon. Shout out to everybody that ran that LA Marathon, though. It looked so dope. But I ended up booking gigs all weekend, and it was just... it wouldn't have made sense to show up tired.
Did you train, or are you already in enough shape to just run the half marathon, no problem? Did you run it in total, or did you... Okay, first, did you train?
Not officially. I just kind of ran every day.
Right. And you work out every day, pretty much, right?
I do weight training 4 days a week, and I run and hike at least 4 days a week also. Yeah, 4 or 5 days.
And then you become the superstar DJ at night and travel to the different clubs in the club circuit under the S.K.A.M Artist Agency.
Correct.
And you're just killing it on the scene. I mean, you're really living the American dream, my little friend.
Yes, Mexican-American dream. I mean, my tall friend.
Yeah, your giraffe friend. Grazing
How tall
in the field.
Are you?
I don't know. I keep getting taller by the hour.
That's pretty cool, because most people get shorter by the hour.
I'll be 10 feet tall by the end of this podcast.
No, I'm serious. How tall are you?
6'1". Wow. Last time I checked.
Okay.
But as I get older, I've realized that, people, they say as you get older, your hearing starts to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, not mine. It's increasing. Like, it's weird. Like, I can hear things from down the block, and it annoys me.
Okay.
I'm like becoming that guy where I'm like, oh.
No.
So I have to wear headphones constantly in my apartment to avoid hearing other people's shenanigans. It drives me nuts. Are you a light sleeper? Do you get annoyed by other people's noise, or are you just used to it?
I'm not a light sleeper.
Yeah.
Once I'm out, I'm usually out.
You sleep on planes and everything.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm trained. Yeah, to sleep anywhere. You name it. Airports.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Lezlee. Since you've been working out, since the last time you were, by the way, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you
because
for having me.
The last time you were here, I was just starting it. I don't even remember which episode you were on. You were on episode like 6.
Yeah, it was early on.
It was real early.
Yeah, and I want to say that I'm so proud of you because I did see all of the. I keep up with you too, Sketch.
I know you do.
Hey, listen, you don't know, but I follow you on TikTok. I follow you on Insta.
My heart is exploding right now, by the way.
And I see all of the amazing things that you're constantly working on, from like the production side to the podcast. You had a lot of really cool guests on your first season.
Yeah.
So, man, I hope you're proud of yourself.
I
You
am.
Did that.
I'm proud of myself, but it's like I said, it's 20% me, 90% guests, and that equals 110%. Exactly. You see what I'm saying?
Wow, he's a smart one.
Thank you. That's a sketchomatic mathematics right there. Sketcho mathematics here. Okay, but
Yeah,
I want to go back to your fitness training.
Yes.
Since the last time you were on,
Yes.
you'd been doing this like nonstop. You had you had just left the cruise show.
Yes.
Right, to pursue traveling the world, doing your DJ thing.
Correct.
Are you producing now as well? Are you producing any music yet?
Yes.
Remember we talked about this.
I am producing, finally.
Is this a Sketcho Show podcast exclusive?
Drop the bombs. Yes. Yes, it is.
Go ahead. What do you got?
So I'm finally learning the ropes as far as production goes. I have a few really, really dope friends that are, kind of giving me some tips and sitting with me and spending hours with me and showing me how there's a lot to learn. I'll be honest with you.
What are you using?
Ableton.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I'm on Ableton, but there's so many different plugins that I have to learn.
It's choice paralysis.
Yeah.
Once you plug in a lot of plugins, you get lost in one for hours.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool, right? Then you kind of figure out what it is that you like and what works best for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
What kind of music are you working on?
Man, I really love, this is so crazy because I didn't used to like this genre growing up, but now I love it. Drum and bass.
Really?
Drum and bass beats. Yeah, a lot of trap, like 80 BPM, 85 BPM.
Is it like the hard step shit, or are you talking about more like kind of like atmospheric?
More
drum?
atmospheric.
Yeah, for the parties, right?
the
You don't want to
parties.
get too crazy.
Yeah, no.
I used to like the hard step.
Yeah,
drum
like
and
the
bass
hard
shit.
house?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
hard house, hard dubstep. Remember when dubstep was like real big?
Yeah.
I used to love that hard. It sounded like computers were possessed.
Yes.
And they're fighting each other. I like that.
Yeah.
It's like violent.
You nailed it. That was so good.
Yeah.
exactly what it sounds like.
Oh my God. I love the Skrillex shit. Oh,
yeah.
I wish he came back and did another dubstep album.
Yeah, he will.
I really like that. It came and went though. It was just like a brief moment in time where dubstep was really so. But now you're saying you're working on you're working on drum and bass.
Yes.
Do you have anything that we can play a clip of?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet. Yeah, I'm in the baby phases.
Oh.
Yeah. How cute.
God.
Yeah, I'm in the baby phases. But listen, I promise you. By
There's
summertime,
Wacko.
There's a Wacko at the door.
Wacko is peering through the window.
And he's wearing a New York Yankees hat.
And it's red.
Ooh.
They're very red. Yeah, he's not a Dodgers fan. Not Wacko. And he's got the illest poker face of all time. You notice this
he
about
does.
Wacko. Wacko is our video
awesome.
manager here in the video department here at iHeartMedia. And one of the illest videographers
He's really good at what he does.
to walk Earth.
Yeah, and a big Disney fanatic, right? Like
Star Wars buff.
Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah, he's a Star Wars buff. He likes to lift weights while watching Star Wars.
That's smart. That's great. I need to try that. Maybe I'll get buff. Wait, has he been a guest on your podcast?
Absolutely, he has. He was on last year, And he actually told me I was going to be a guest on his podcast, and that has yet to happen.
Oh, well, he's so busy.
Oh, that's everybody's.
Well, everyone's busy, but I feel like, man, between you and Sketch, you guys met.
Me and Sketch?
You and Wacko.
Oh, Wacko. Yeah. The other Sketch. Let's go back to your venture in the music, though. The baby, you were saying you left off at your baby steps, which I think is absolutely adorable. And you're working on drum and bass. You're working with some producers, other scam artists under the agency,
artists,
right?
Yes.
When we say scam artist, to the people listening that don't know what that means, it's a DJ talent agency, which stands for Sujit Kundu Artist Management.
Correct.
So there's no, lest anyone think DJ Lezlee is an actual scam artist.
Yeah, no.
But you're saying you're writing music.
Yeah.
You've been DJing. Oh, and the personal fitness thing, the fitness training that you've been doing since the last time I saw you when you were on episode 6. I think this is going to be episode 48, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we're almost at 50, which I stated earlier as I walked you up. I'm going to drop 3 episodes back to back, like Joe Rogan style.
Nice.
To get to 50.
Okay.
And then take another break.
Okay.
Because again, it's hard to book guests, which is why I have to thank you tremendously, because when I ask you to come through, it's so effortless. It's like,
just flows.
I sent you a voice message. You sent me one back. You were like, I'm going to be around this, and that. And then when I'm like, oh, are we still on for next week, this Thursday? Yes, and yes. And here you are. Why can't it be that easy with everybody else? Why does everybody have to make things difficult? Like I was telling you, right?
Yeah. We were talking about people not replying to you.
They leave me on scene, Lezlee.
Right. And then, but they're going to see you here at work.
Right.
So they should just reply.
It's just like I said, just if you don't want to be on the podcast, be like Nancy Reagan and just say no.
Just say no.
I've had
Just say no.
people in management, Tony Sanchez, my manager.
Right.
He said, Sketch, I love your podcast, amigo. It's really great. I'm really proud of you, amigo. I just don't want to be on it. I don't like the way I sound. You know what? Respect.
Yeah.
Guy Goldschmidt. You want to be on the podcast? I want to get some managers from behind the scenes. Sketch, I love it, but it's just not for me. I'm more behind the scenes. Man, respect. Because you're able to tell me no, and then there's no love lost. But man.
Have you had people kind of ghost you?
Yeah, and it sucks. It sucks.
Man.
And it's weird because then I see them at work and then they act weird.
Then they're mad at you.
They're mad at me because they fucked up.
Oh, no. And this is where the accountability comes in, right?
Let's talk about accountability. I need to get back to your fitness and all that. I want to talk about your regimen.
Okay.
All right.
Nice.
I've been wanting to use that word. Regimen. It's very Stewie for Family Guy. Tell me about your regimen, DJ Lezlee. Your regimen. You look healthy.
Oh, my
All right.
gosh.
No. But accountability. Let's talk about accountability. Yeah. You're a DJ. You're a world-renowned DJ now. You've been evolved. You've been climbing up the DJ ladder, rung by rung. I remember when you started, and now look at where you're at now. I mean, you got to have accountability, right, DJ Lezlee?
Absolutely.
What's your thoughts on accountability?
Okay, so accountability is something that I think is, oh man, life is so much better for you when you are accountable for where you might lack in life. The things you have to understand, we are not perfect. No human walking this earth is perfect. And once you can accept that, I feel like you can accept and you can be accountable for the things that, you need a little work on. Something I know I needed work on, and it's actually tying into today. Sometimes I make plans with people and I will not be able to make it for the smallest thing. And that was coming into 2024. I was able to recognize that, damn, I need to not be like that, especially with people like friends, family, people that love me and that I love. Stick to the word. Stick to your word. If you say you're going to be somewhere. And it's just as easy as that.
Right.
So you asked me earlier, we confirmed, I said yes, and that was that. I mean, I'm just trying to train my brain to hey, where you lack, so fix it.
Yeah. Thank you. That was very wise right there, Lezlee.
Yeah, totally.
Even when we didn't know each other, I remember back in the day on IG, when I first met you, I was like, yeah, can you do some drops? And you said yes. It never happened, but you said yes.
Oh, it didn't happen?
We didn't meet each other.
Oh,
we didn't meet each other until
right.
10 years later in person when Real 92.3 started.
I remember when we were on that phone call, I was at the Burbank Mall.
Yeah.
And you don't even know, but you were already, to me, this kind of legend in LA and the radio world.
Me?
So the fact that I was on the phone with you it was a really big deal. And that's why I remember exactly what I was doing.
Same.
Yeah.
I remember I was at home and I remember my ex-girlfriend at the time, my girlfriend at the time, she was like, "Who's that?"
Oh, no.
Right? And I was like, "Oh, she's a DJ." And I was, she, what?
And then she's like, "Oh, she."
Oh, she was like, "Oh, yeah, she's a she." Right. And then I was like, "Yeah, but I don't know her. I've never met her." But you want to. It was very like hot seat. It was a hot seat. You think she's pretty? And I'm like, duh. That was the answer. Duh. Which wasn't a good answer to say. You got to always say no to that.
You got to lie, Sketch.
Lying is an art. Yeah.
Listen, you just got to say, "Ew, no, she's not even my type."
Oh my God, but you are. Anywho. All right. Let's not go down that road because I'll just shower you with compliments, and I've done that to the fullest already. Your cuppeth is fulleth of Sketcho compliments.
Same.
All right. But going back to your fitness,
my regimen.
Your regimen. How is it? How do you just find the energy every day? I see you with weighted vests on, hiking up either Runyon or the Hollywood Hills. Where do you preferably like to hike?
Griffith.
Griffith
is my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's longer.
Do you go the long route or do you go the Wisdom Tree route?
No, I don't do. I've never done the Wisdom Tree route. No, I know. I need to go with someone that can guide me because there's I'm down. Tell me when. There's so many different trails that
There is.
Yeah, and I've gotten lost a few times and I've been able to find my way, but it's okay. I always say when you get lost, it just means you're going to find something better.
It's hard to get lost up there because you just follow the sun.
Yeah.
You end up back on the west side.
Yeah, literally you go from Los Feliz to Hollywood. But I want to try that. So I normally start at the Greek Theater.
Oh.
And I run up to, if I have time, I run up to the observatory. And then from there, I'll run to the Hollywood sign. And then from there, I'll run back.
Do you do the app or do you have the Apple Watch that measures your steps and all that and your heart rate and the calories burnt?
Yes.
Right?
So my goal is always 10,000 steps.
And what do you do? 20?
No. If I have time.
Right.
The most I've done is 14.
Do you run it all up there?
I run the whole way.
You run the whole way?
I don't
no
walk.
Stopping?
Okay, so I will say, I was on a roll for like maybe 7 months, right? Like I was good. I was very consistent. And then I took 3 weeks off after the Spartan race that I was in. And I noticed when I started back up again, it hurt. It was painful.
Really?
So I did have to like take a few breaks and like catch my breath and, make sure I wasn't dying. But usually I'm pretty good at just running the whole way up.
Damn, you don't like get short of breath or you're like, your knees start to buckle.
Nope.
No? Damn, me. I just walk it. I don't.
Not at all.
But then again, I'm so tall, like a giraffe.
Right.
I cover a lot of ground quickly. So me walking is like you running.
I would love to see you running.
I'm all right. I'm very aerodynamic. I cut through the wind, you see. But I feel like you and I should go to Wisdom Tree at some point and just walk. You can hike up there. It's kind of Indiana Jones-ish in a way.
Okay.
It's not like a smooth paved trail like the other trails around that area.
Where do you start?
I start on Wonderview. Wonderview, which is at the very top. If you go up like Barham and you make a left on Lake Hollywood and then you take that up to Wonderview, it's overlooking the lake, right?
Yes.
And you could walk around that lake, which is like 3.2 miles or something. That's just a flat circle.
Okay.
But then if you don't go down that hill to the lake and you just keep going up to through the neighborhood, you'll hit a black gate at the end, like a dead end.
Okay.
You go through that gate, it's open during the day, and you can just hike up to Wisdom Tree.
I saw a TikTok on
Yeah,
on
you
those
saw me. I
instructions.
think I showed you. No?
No, someone posted instructions on how to get, I think the way that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I've never started on that side of town.
That's why.
I always start literally right on Vermont.
Got it.
At the Greek.
Like Franklin kind of area?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I park at the Greek and walk across the street and there's a trail and it's pretty much inclined the entire way, which is what I love. The thing is because, I work out, I feel like if I run or if I run on a flat pace, I'm going to kind of, all the hard work I do in the gym is going to go away. So I try to always run in an incline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely harder against gravity.
Right. Yeah, totally. Oh, yeah, it is.
It's hard going up. I know, me too. And then when you're coming back down, it's like a treat.
Oh my God. That's when I feel my runner's high. Always.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Totally.
Is it weird?
It's the best.
It is.
All like that hard work for like those few seconds or like few minutes.
It's probably like the way I go through the Wisdom Tree. if and when we go.
Yes.
It takes I'd say about 20 minutes to get up the side of the mountain to Wisdom Tree. But it's like, it's kind of rough depending on the weather as well. You want to go when it's not too hot because it's brutal. But once you get to the top, you could see all the way to SoFi Stadium
that's so
and like
dope.
Palos Verdes. You could see from that area, if it's a clear day, bomb, right? And then you go from Wisdom Tree across the top of the Hollywood Hills to the Hollywood sign from the back way. It's like the other way.
I always see people coming from that way.
Yeah.
But I've never experienced that side. I love it. It's so addicting.
Yeah.
It's so addicting. The only thing is like time is what's in the way, right?
Right.
And obviously I go alone if I have to, but I really don't like to.
I was going to ask you about that because I see you by yourself mostly. I seen you working out with your friends, but not the hikes you go solo. Do you prefer solo hiking? I know I do, but you're so little and beautiful and you're like a flower, you know?
Oh, man. Well, I do. Okay, so I need to listen to music. I've realized that if I do hike with people, oh, man, this is going to sound really mean. Please don't hate me.
Oh, no. This is a good disclaimer. Don't worry. Don't hate. Congratulate. Go ahead.
To anyone that's listening that I've ran with.
Go ahead. This is a Sketcho Show podcast exclusive.
So bad.
Go ahead.
I don't know if I can say it.
Yeah, you can. There's nobody listening.
I'm just
Don't worry.
trying to find a better way, a nice way of saying this, okay?
The PC way? Take your time.
I don't really like to walk it, okay? Yeah.
Elaborate on that. You don't like to walk it.
There's times when I go with friends, certain friends, and they're not as experienced. So, and it's an easy trail to get lost at, right? So like it's a lot of waiting and it's a lot of like
they become a liability.
Yeah, big time. But it's okay. I still wait.
Of course.
I don't want to lose my friends, and I don't. I'm like very patient. I pause my watch. So we're good on time and everything like that. But I usually like to get in and get out.
Right.
If it's up to me, yeah.
Yeah, because you got a club to go DJ and a plane to catch.
Exactly.
Yeah. So these people are holding you up, is what you're saying.
But
in other words,
I don't mind because in a way I'm happy that I'm showing them a new experience too, right? So. Yeah, but I like to balance, you with friends and going alone.
And it kind of dampens your workout flow, right? Your hiking flow. I get that. That's why I hike solo. It's the same reason and this is also kind of sad as for me, but I don't care. I go to the movies by myself, okay?
That's awesome.
Because I don't want to explain shit to anybody or have to go, oh, this is too close. This is too far. I'm going to sit where I want without anybody asking me anything. And I like that. I like like being invisible when I go to the movies, which is not a lot. But if there's something like Godzilla -1, I'm going to watch that shit. I did. With John Wick 4, alone.
Right.
I'd like to go to the movies with a breezy, a young bae, a young female. But again, I've done that. And it's always me catering.
Oh my God.
For you on the trails, it's catering to your friends. Right. And it's not bad.
Right.
It's just like you need that solitude to reset. And to sweat out the salt and the alcohol. Do you still drink, by the way?
No, I don't.
You don't? Me neither.
Yeah.
I've been on 3 years now.
That's
no
amazing.
booze. How long you been? No drinking?
Well, I stopped drinking last year in like November-ish. Actually, no, maybe like September. I mean, I've had a few drinks here and there. Like New Year's Eve, I had one. But that's about it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What'd you drink? 1942?
No, what's it called? A spritz?
Celsius spritz?
Celsius, not a Celsius. What? I'm blanking. What are those things called? They come in the same type of can. Seltzer. Yes.
Interesting. Is that like a hard like...
hard vodka.
Something like a hard Mike's lemonade type of drink?
Not as sweet.
Okay.
Yeah, it literally kind of tastes like a
because
Celsius.
you're sweet enough?
I'm sweet. But I'm sweet enough.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you,
No,
folks.
but it's very similar to Celsius.
Okay.
So,
All right.
I had one of those. That was it.
And did it hit you?
Not really.
No, because you're like seasoned vet in the drinking. You don't go blackout though. You never blacked out while DJing at the clubs, have you?
Have I blacked out while DJing at the club? Well, I definitely have had like nights where, okay, I partied with DJ Turbulence once.
Oh, yeah,
That's all I'm gonna
That's
say.
why they call them Turbulence.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying, okay? I think the worst experience I ever had drinking was with him, I mean, we were having fun in the moment, but it was,
The next day, you're really paying for it, right?
Yeah,
and the bounce back isn't nearly as easy as when we were spring chickens. Not saying you're old, but as you get older, it's hard.
Definitely.
Especially when you're time traveling to a different time zone in the same country and then partying and then having to catch a flight to another location.
Right.
And you're just, it's like, how do you, I mean, I don't even know how to bounce back from that. Just thinking about it makes me exhausted.
And honestly, that's a big reason why I stopped drinking because I feel like, I mean, traveling hungover is
it's fucking brutal.
Yeah, it's literally hell. Like,
I've done it.
It's so uncomfortable. Like, you just want to crawl out of your own skin, literally. So that's like one of the biggest reasons why I stopped drinking. And just, I don't know. I feel like I like having energy. I like feeling alert and present and happy, and drinking's cool. It's fun for like 3 hours and then you pay for it for 3 days.
Yeah.
So it's just not worth it.
That's why I only smoke the ganja.
Yeah, and that's cool too,
But I know that it's not for everybody.
Right, yeah.
It can bring people down, and it is like, it's weird. I was listening to Stern the other day, and they brought up a good question. Gary Dell'Abate, he's like, why is it cool to like wake and bake, right? Like, in a sense, here's the question. If you were to wake up and say, man, I just pounded like 2 shots in 1942 when I woke up, people are like, man, you got a fucking problem, right? But people like me, I wake up, it's not the first thing I do, but it is one of the first things I get to.
It's part of your regimen.
It is. Okay. It's part of my regimen. And I like it because it gets my brain into focus. I use it as a tool for creativity, for focus. It's like the exact opposite for me. But some people smoke weed and they just can't work at all. They can't. They're too clouded.
Well, I think everyone reacts to drinking and ganja and everything different ways. So you're able to handle it. I wouldn't be able to. Like, I know people that smoke before they go to the gym.
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
I couldn't. Yeah. I mean, maybe I can. I've never tried. So
no, don't do it.
I feel like it's very intimidating. I don't know. I'd probably start giggling. I'm a giggler, and so I just laugh at everything.
You'll be analyzing everybody.
Yeah, I'm like, am I even moving? Have I just been standing here for 5 minutes? These weights.
Standing there with like weights in your hand, but you're not moving.
Yeah. See.
Oh my God. No. I'd like to see that. I think I might want to get you high and go to the gym with you
before we go to the gym. That'd be funny. I'm down.
Or just smoke just a couple of puffs before a hike. That's the move because then you're outdoors and it brings a whole new element to the workout because you're seeing the sun and you're getting sun and there's flowers and trees and animals running around.
You're out with nature.
Yeah, you're in nature. It's kind of like shrooming, but without the shrooms. You know what I mean? I don't think you've ever done that either, right?
I did actually.
You did?
When I was like 17. It was the worst experience of my life. Yeah.
Interesting. So you're not with the psychedelics, because shrooms are more like, they're like legal now, more acceptable.
Yeah, well now the microdosing, right? Yeah.
Would you ever consider microdosing?
I would. Again, I've heard really good things about it.
I've done it.
Okay.
And it does, what's cool about psilocybin is what I've discovered, well, I've just learned throughout the years, is that it does help like rebuild neural pathways in your brain, right?
Happy ones, right?
Happy, but here's the thing is that for me, it's too intense. Like, I like shrooms.
Are you like too happy?
It's not even happy or sad. It's just like life in itself is like too episodic for me. It's like I'm thinking about everything it took for us to get to this very moment right now.
Oh my God.
Like all the different variables. Like Martin Luther King took a fucking bullet.
Yeah.
So we could, and then I think about that. And then I'm like, oh my God, it gets too crazy.
Yeah.
It's too crazy.
Intense.
I like to just.
And that's on the microdosing, or that's like.
No, that's a full eighth of shrooms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's high sketch. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
No, because I do have friends that like microdose for like, I guess they do that instead of taking antidepressant.
Right.
And they say that like they've gotten really good results. So.
Yeah, it's good for PTSD for a lot of those vets that come over.
Oh.
I mean, so is Molly and all that. I just feel like
I've never done that.
You never done Molly?
No, never. I'm
you'd love
scared.
It's great.
I just, oh man.
Yeah,
I've seen the way some people get on it,
Right.
and I think it just kind of traumatized me.
Well, that's probably, that's probably more ecstasy. which is more of like the hard-edged version of it. Molly is like the Diet Coke version of it. There's no like
lighter.
Yeah, there's no grinding your teeth endlessly. Like ecstasy would do that. I remember like grinding up my own tongue.
My gosh.
Like because you're just grinding your gums so hard, you don't even realize it because you're so high. But it feels amazing. But then you're like, you're like death after.
Worse than a hangover?
I was just about to say, is it comparable to a hangover from alcohol? Depending on how drunk you got, I would dare to say there is nothing worse than an alcohol hangover.
Damn.
Like even Molly or ecstasy hangovers are pretty brutal because it drains the serotonin out of your brain, right? So it makes you feel really depressed and blue and sad.
I couldn't do that.
But then alcohol is like the same thing, but double that because you feel physically like shit. You like think of food and you're like, bleh, you know what I mean? But then you have to eat. Molly is like kind of, it's more of a mental thing. It's like your body's like tired, but you're like, I'm okay. You're like, I'm okay.
What's that sound?
Oh, it's probably the air conditioner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it sounds like an alien ship is coming down. This air conditioner, you guys can't hear it, but it sounds like.
I'm like, is it raining? Yeah. I was like, there's no way you can hear the rain in this big ass building.
It's an early storm, DJ Lezlee, or you might have brought the hurricane with you.
Yeah. Okay. No, so I was gonna.
Go ahead.
Okay, so
we're talking about Molly and all that.
Oh
shit.
yeah, and hangovers.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay, so my only thing is like, when I have a hangover, like another reason why I stopped drinking is I would always have that guilt after. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where I'm like so down on myself, and it's like the disappointment after disappointment, and I'm just like, bro, like, why do you keep doing this to yourself? Just let it go already.
Right.
And a part of me was like, yo, how do you expect to get the blessings that you want to accept in your life? Like, God's not going to give them to you if he sees you. You're clearly not ready.
Right.
So you got to act right and get yourself together so that you can I don't know. That's just my take on it. And that's honestly a big reason why I stopped drinking.
I hear what you're saying, Lezlee. It's like, in other words, as Stern would say, I think what you're trying to say is that the drinking, you're doing all these amazing things with your career, right? But the drinking is also par for the course in this career of yours. But by doing so, indulging too much, it doesn't allow you to really appreciate the fortunate blessings that are coming at you at top speed almost every single day.
Exactly.
Right? It almost kind of dampens that sense of like gratefulness, gratitude. Not saying that you're not, but you don't have enough energy to show it because you're so hungover, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And we gotta, keep it real. I've been DJing for about 15 years.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
Coming up on 2 decades almost.
Yes, which is really awesome. But also like our bodies, it's that tear and wear. It doesn't recover the way it used to. So. Right. Yeah, I just think I was able to see how far I came with drinking. I wanted to show myself what I can do without the drinking. And I'm sure it's obviously
you're doing all kinds.
Better.
Yeah. You're climbing mountains.
Yeah.
Literally and figuratively.
Climbing mountains. I love that.
I want to do the wisdom tree hike with you. Can I get a pinky promise on the wisdom tree hike?
Got it.
We're pinky promising right now.
You gotta
we're going to do the thumb, and then if you bring the thumb around and then you make the roach.
Oh,
that's my little move, right? That's the remix. Okay, let's circle back.
Love it.
Let's circle back to your career again.
Yes.
I want to talk about the traveling that you've done.
Okay.
Since the last time you were on, you've traveled. Have you traveled outside of the country to go DJ?
Have I traveled outside of the country? I have traveled to the Bahamas. Yes.
Did you DJ?
I DJ'd there, yeah.
Really? What was that
a few
like?
times. It was really, really cool.
Where in the Bahamas
beautiful.
Exactly?
I went to Nassau twice and 2 different hotels, 2 different resorts. So one of them was for spring break, which was insane.
I'll bet.
Oh my gosh. Because I think the drinking or the nightclub age is 18. Yeah, it was wild. It was a lot of fun. But it's always so cool to like see different cultures in different parts of the world,
Doesn't it make you feel... I always think that when people travel outside of the country, whether it's for vacation or work or both, and then you come back, there's it changes you in a good way. It makes you appreciate where you live more. And maybe it doesn't for some people, but for me, when I've traveled, I remember I went to Amsterdam. I went to I went to Japan, and I came back, and it made me feel like, and I lived in Miami for a while, but that's not outside the country, but it was traveling in the sense of traveling. But then coming back to LA, it just made me go like, damn, we're lucky. You know what I mean? Like, we're real spoiled out here.
Oh, yeah.
We're like too spoiled sometimes, Yeah. But with your travels, have you ever been somewhere where you're like, I could see myself moving here? Did I hit a good question?
You did.
Finally!
You did. You hit a great question, Sketch, and it was just perfect delivery.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've been practicing. Where would DJ Lezlee move to if given the opportunity? Would it be within this country or
within this country?
Outside, like in, what is it? Tasahu? What did you say you DJ'd?
The Bahamas.
Bahamas. What was it called? The
Nassau.
Nassau.
Yes.
Never even heard of it until now.
It's really nice. It's kind of touristy.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's an hour away from Miami, so it's not.
Mijami.
Yeah, Mijami. Yeah. Where would I move? Where would I live? That's a good question.
Think about it.
I don't know. I mean, I really like living in LA.
You do? Mm-hmm. What part of LA are you in? Not without giving away total specifics.
Well, I'm born and raised in North Hollywood.
Right.
So I'm a Valley girl.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I've lived in Pomona. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I know what that side of town is like. And I loved Pomona. But
since you're a Valley girl, did you ever say, like, oh my God?
Like, oh my God, I still do.
Nice.
Yeah. Once a Valley girl, always a Valley girl.
Oh my God. Forever.
Okay.
Okay. But if you had to move outside of the Valley or out of California, Vegas?
I've considered Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Vegas is cool. There's so much to do now.
Yeah.
Off the strip.
Are you DJing in Vegas a lot?
I am. Usually during the summer. I do a lot of the pool parties there.
The day parties, right?
The day parties.
What's one of them?
Like Liquid, Aria.
Do they
Palm
still
Beach.
have Wet? Is that what's Wet? Something?
Wet Republic.
Wet Republic.
Yes, that's actually one of the longest running pool parties that they've had.
Remember Rehab?
Yeah, Rehab is not there anymore.
No?
I DJ'd there 2 years ago. It's called something else. I can't even remember, but...
What's it called now? Is that something to do with like rehab of any sorts? It's all like therapy.
Yeah, right? No. Not at all. I can't remember the name, but yeah, Rehab is not there anymore.
No.
It's changing. Vegas is definitely, they're getting rid of the Tropicana this week.
Really?
Yeah, Tropicana's iconic.
That is. They've gotten a lot. It's evolved quite a bit out there.
Yeah. I mean, well, listen, they have the Raiders now. The A's are coming to town.
Oh my God, the gambling is out of control.
Yeah, it's going to be the entertainment and the sports and gambling capital of the world.
And...
Capitals.
Is it like also the sexiest capital of the world?
It's pretty hot.
I mean, there's a lot of sexiness going on out there.
Baddies in Vegas, okay?
Where are the hottest females, hottest crowds you've seen outside of LA? I would say Miami.
Miami.
Boom.
Point blank, period.
Done.
Miami.
Miami females are... I mean, they're like sexy aliens.
Sexy aliens.
Yes. They're just, I look at these Miami females and then I go, wow, all they have to choose from, if they're straight, is us. Like, I look at us as men and then I look at them and I'm like, holy shit, sexy aliens. And then I'm like, look at us. We're just standard motherfuckers. We're just dudes. I mean, go ahead.
No, yeah, that's...
Am I right?
Yeah, pretty
Isn't
much,
it weird?
Sure.
It's weird how women are so beautiful, and yet they, I'm not saying that men aren't. Some are really beautiful. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's very far and in between. Very far to get the Ryan Goslings of the world and the Brad Pitts and all that shit. It's like they're far. I'm not saying that men don't have their own attractiveness to them, but I just trip out that the straight ladies, we're all they have.
The straight
That's
ladies.
it.
Yeah.
But the sexiest crowds are in Miami, right? Outside of LA.
I agree.
Tell me about some of these crowds that you've DJ'd for. Tell me about the crowds that have, I don't know, something crazy. Anything wild that happened since you've last been on the podcast? Anything that is worth reiterating?
Well, okay. I mean, I think Miami and Las Vegas has the sexiest people, for sure.
For sure. Miami and Vegas. Because Vegas is like a melting pot of all kinds. But Miami is kind of, they're there. It's like they're locals, right? Yeah. But Vegas is a constant evolving, revolving door of people from all over the world. right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm trying to think anything crazy that's happened.
Yeah, come on.
During one of my sets. Oh, man.
Or even just in the city. It doesn't have to be during the set. Like just getting there, the plane ride, somebody smacks somebody else on the plane. Because you've been on so many planes. Have you seen any crazy shenanigans going on?
No.
Really?
I've been lucky enough to
wow.
not have to deal with any of that. No. Mm-mm.
I feel like Will Smith started a trend. You know?
Oh, yeah. Smacking people around.
I mean, yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
It's everybody's just getting beat up on planes now. And you haven't
right.
witnessed any of that?
Scary. No, I haven't.
You're
Nothing
flying
at all.
private now?
Not at all. That'd be tight. But maybe I have it. I literally sketch as soon as I sit down, I am out.
Yeah?
I close my eyes and I'm out.
Is it like Drake? It's all, I'm out like a light. Like a light.
Yeah.
Like a light. Slept through the flight. That's you. That's
100%. Yeah. I don't like to. Ah, man, I get so antsy.
Yeah.
You know, the
You get
whole
antsy and you're
loading
pantsy?
and unloading
Yeah.
of the flights are always like drama, in my opinion. I hate it.
Do you fly first class?
No, I don't.
You fly coach?
I usually fly coach. Yeah, I mean, like I'll pay a few extra bucks to sit a little closer and have a window seat.
Yeah.
Totally.
Any doors blown off when you're on a plane?
No.
What do you think about all that? It makes me nervous for my
Man.
DJ friends. I
Yeah.
think of you. I think of Deluxe. I think of Gene Hove, right?
Gene Hove.
Love Gene Hove. And I think of you guys all the time when I'm seeing these crazy plane stories.
Yeah, I know. I think of them too.
Right?
It's
Doors are flying off of airplanes
crazy.
at a rapid pace.
yeah. There's a lot happening in the sky for sure.
What is your favorite airline to fly?
JetBlue, baby.
Really? Are they
Yes.
still around?
Yeah, they are. The only thing is they don't usually have a lot of flights. That's the thing that sucks. But they have the best snacks.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do they still serve alcohol on planes?
They do serve alcohols.
Alcohol's plural. Oh.
They do serve alcohol on planes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're like very. I mean, I've been so lucky. That's one of my fears now when I travel is please don't get anybody that's drunk and crazy on this flight. And no.
Anything wild or even paranormal that has happened since during your travels?
Sketch. No.
Nothing.
My travels have been pretty boring.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I'm going to switch gears here, and I'm going to go into, since they're boring, and I've heard this about a lot of people who travel, right? You're DJing or even comedians that go do sets, right?
Yeah.
They travel. And yeah, life is extraordinary. They're killing it on stage, whether you're on the turntables, you're doing a set in a comedy club for 1 hour or whatever. But then the rest of the time is being filled with what? What do you do to fill your time as you travel to these different cities?
Okay.
I mean, because it's like 23 hours to kill, which is one of Seinfeld's stand-up specials.
Well, sometimes I fly in a few hours before my gig. So I'm never really like in a city. I mean, unless it's like, you know,
the Bahamas.
Somewhere like the Bahamas, somewhere that's far, yeah. But usually I work up. I work up. God, I don't know what is wrong with me today, but
that Celsius is kicking ass.
It is hitting.
Yeah, what kind of Celsius is that? I need one of those.
I'm sober. I'm sober and I'm hungry. Normally first thing I do is always hit the gym. I like that energy that I feel after, a good workout.
Yeah.
So I'll hit the gym, grab some food. I like to try some of the local spots. That's a must, always a must. And get back into my room and just really save my energy for DJing and for my shows. Yeah,
Really?
My life is pretty boring.
I mean, it's
Now that I
not
think of
boring,
it.
but you keep things under control. You don't go
Yes.
wild.
No, not anymore. I used to. And that's another reason why I kind of like traveling and going to gigs alone because I feel like I don't have to entertain anyone. I remember when I first started DJing and traveling, I always had like a posse with me, but it was like I had to entertain.
Oh, you had your entourage?
Yeah. But I always had to entertain and like,
You got to cater.
which is cool. It's cool, but then I'm like, okay, I need to save some of this energy for like the reason that I'm here, and
Right.
that's to DJ. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Do you prefer to travel alone now, or do you at least take, you're in a relationship still,
No,
right?
I'm single.
Wait a minute. Okay, let's
I am
sidebar. We got a sidebar.
Oh, and red tea. No, just kidding.
We're sidebarring.
Wait.
Okay,
So
go ahead.
Okay, so
We're circling back, though.
Traveling alone.
Uh-huh. That's
I
the
like
remix.
traveling alone, but only because I don't like traveling with people. Like if I feel like I'm carrying all the weight when we travel, it's just we're not compatible. Like
it goes to like the hiking thing,
right,
where you're bringing people that are slowing you down.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We need to be on the same page, you know.
It's all systems go when you're out on the road, you know? Yeah.
You know, we're here to work. You know what I'm saying?
So you don't have a road manager or
No,
anything?
I don't.
This is all, you just go out solo.
Yes,
You
I
fly
do.
solo, you travel solo.
Yes.
And there's nobody helping you with the bookings or anything other than Sujit, or
Sujit.
you know, you got your own agent, I'm sure, other
Yeah.
than Sujit that handles all your bookings and
Shout
stuff.
out to Ali, yeah.
Shout out to Ali. But then like, yeah, you don't have anybody rolling with you,
No,
right?
not really.
And you used to have an entourage.
Yeah.
Right.
I used to have an entourage, yeah, and you know that was so many years ago. Things, you know, everybody kind of got their own life going, and things change. People don't really party like that anymore. I do have friends that will, like, let's say I'm traveling to a different state or different city. I always like know someone that lives there that will pull up and, you know, party with me
and hang out with you,
yeah,
right?
Totally.
Keep you company. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's
Yeah,
so sweet.
yeah, and it's fine. I don't mind. You know, I've been doing this so long that I kind of like to just do what I got to do and come home.
Yeah. Let me
Yeah.
ask you, how long have you been on Scam Artist now?
Since 2019,
Was it 19?
yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Time flies like that. It's like 5 years.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, totally. It feels a lot longer.
And you've really like excelled, you know, since you joined there. I mean, you were already DJing all over the place, and then then you
Totally.
get signed to Scam. Mm-hmm. And does your work triple, tenfold, or how does it just go from a lot to a shit ton? Or how is it? Explain it on like a scale.
Well, I mean, I think the really cool thing, you know, being signed with Sujit and Scam Artist is that Sujit's been doing this for a really long time. Okay, so he has a lot of relationships and he knows a lot of people in the nightclub scene and the corporate scene. He's good at what he does. Yeah. So I think that
They're like the Coca-Cola of DJ talent agencies. Yeah,
totally. That's
right?
a really good way to put it. Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah. He's a really cool guy, and I think. Like, what I love the most from being with Scam Artist is like literally getting closer to Sujit, because me and Sujit didn't really talk like the first year.
Oh, he's like an enigma.
Yeah, he was never even in town. I think like we had our initial meeting where I decided to, you know, be a Scam Artist, and that was it. I didn't see him again until like after the pandemic.
Wow.
During the pandemic.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that was when the Twitch thing was just starting too. I remember that.
Yeah, totally. So basically what happened was when I signed with Scam, I was assigned an agent, and, you know, the agent was kind of like my person that I would communicate with.
Your
about
liaison.
gigs. Yes, exactly. And so I didn't really talk to Sujit. He was always out of town. He was like back and forth between LA and New York. So when the pandemic happened, you know, unfortunately, like he had it cut down.
I remember.
Everybody was like, there was
Yeah,
no
you couldn't do
parties.
anything.
Yeah, so Sujit became my main contact, and that's when we like really got to know each other. And at first, it was a little difficult in the very beginning, only because like, you know, I feel like we were still learning each other,
Right.
You know, and he's very strong-minded, and I can be too,
Right.
So I think it was like a little bit of growing pains, but we got past it, and yeah, he's you know, he's an interesting guy, but I love it.
Yeah,
Like,
I've been
you just
trying to
never
get him
know.
on the podcast, and
Oh.
I asked him, and he was like, "Good to hear from you. Not doing any podcasts at the
Yeah.
moment," which is like the longest reply I've ever gotten from Sujit
Sounds like
Kundu.
Sujit.
Yeah. Usually it's just like, no.
Yeah. So yeah, he's you know, he's getting better. I'm proud of him.
Yeah. It was nice to hear, you know, to get a full thought.
Yeah.
You know.
No,
But
he's a cool guy.
he's a mysterious man.
Yeah.
And one day I hope to get him on the pod
Yeah.
and to get his side of how it all began
Yeah.
and where's it going.
Totally.
I mean, where do you see Scam Artist going in the next 5 years, DJ Lezlee?
I mean, I think that Scam Artist is doing great. You know,
Yeah, I know.
think, I think it's only going to get better. Sujit is one thing I can appreciate about Sujit. He sticks with the times.
Yeah.
He's not one of those people that is like stuck in the old ways. He sees things changing, and he's like, how do we jump on that?
He adapts to.
Totally.
Right. He
Which
evolves and adapts.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes he comes to me with things that are happening before he's on it before I am, you know? So yeah, I think it's only going to get better. Yeah. There's so much opportunity and so many ways to be creative now. Like, look at Precise. He's on TikTok with like, I don't know how many million, you know.
DJ Precise is big, man. He's precisely a rock star now.
Yeah, totally.
Exactly. I remember when he was just on the Flavor Unit at Power.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good old
Yeah, and
Precise.
I only bring up Precise because not only is he a great guy, but like
He's an excellent DJ.
so good.
Yeah,
His
very
name is
talented.
Precise for a reason.
I don't even know his real name, actually. I forgot. I remember he
what?
told me once, but it's Precise.
I don't think I know his real name either.
Right?
Yeah.
Let me just say this. For a long time, I wanted to be on Scam Artist, and
Okay.
I would beg Sujit, please, let me just be.
Like you kind of were
mean,
like honorary because
I was like associated, but like I was never officially. None of that. I would just, I worked a lot with Scam Artist, DJ Vice. I worked with Deluxe.
right, Lil Jon.
Yeah.
right?
Well, I worked with Lil Jon through Sujit.
Okay.
Like through doing a project, but it was all through Sujit for Pepsi. But I will admit that in that time, I was really struggling with the alcohol.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that Suj always said no. Because I'll tell you, if I would have gotten on and I started traveling and drinking for free, I would be dead, my friend.
Yeah,
It would be over. I'd be headed to the upper room.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
It would just, and I'm grateful that it never happened because I know I probably wouldn't have been able to control myself. Like it would have been bad. It would have been a bad look for me and for Scam.
Yeah.
If I would have gotten on and then made a fool of myself somewhere or
Yep.
blacked out at a club I'm DJ. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So
Well, they say rejection is sometimes protection. So
it is. Yeah. It's like a
you know?
condom.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So let's get back to the relationship thing before we wrap this up. We're almost there.
Relationship thing.
I mean, because the last time
yeah,
you were
yeah.
on, you were pretty head over
was
heels.
booed up.
Yeah, you were booed up.
Yeah.
We didn't say her name, but we shouted out your boo. But what can we talk about? What happened? Can we elaborate on anything? Can you give me an exclusive here?
Okay. You want an exclusive?
Yes, a DJ Lezlee romantico.
It just what?
Romantico.
It just didn't work out.
It didn't work out.
Yeah. I mean, I think we just wanted two different things.
Which was what?
And
What did you want?
I mean, I was, I don't know. I guess maybe now that I'm not in the relationship and I'm able to like look on the outside, look in, it was probably the right decision to break up.
Did you break up with her or did she break up with you? Or was it like
it was kind of mutual.
what's it called? What's the word called? It's amicable. I can never say that. Amicable? It's a rough one.
You can never say it, and when you finally do say it, you're like, wait, am I saying it right?
It sounds like I'm drunk. Amicable. It's like February. Who made up that word?
Yeah, or
February.
library.
Yeah, oh my God. What the hell? All right, so it was amicable.
It was amicable, yeah.
And you guys, are you still friends?
Oh, man. No.
No. I hear you.
Well, it's not that we're not friends. I think like there's a lot of healing that needed to happen, and I think sometimes out of sight, out of mind is the best way to like, just kind of let yourself go through the different emotions, I guess.
Like Usher, you got to let it burn.
Yeah, you got to let it burn. But it's cool. I mean, listen, I'm sure eventually we will get to a place where we can be homies,
I know, but have you run into her at
No.
anywhere by accident? Because that's always a jolt
Yeah.
to the system when you see
God.
you run into somebody you don't want. Not that you don't want to see her, but
Yeah.
you're not actively seeking to see her.
No.
Or vice versa. And I
Yeah.
imagine if she came to a spot and she didn't know you were DJing, even though your name's all over the marquee. Go
right.
ahead. What were you
Can
gonna say?
you knock on wood really quick,
Yeah, let's knock
please?
on wood.
Thank you.
Look at that. We just knocked on wood. I know how you feel.
Yeah.
I know how you feel.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
it is wild. That's only happened a few times. A few. But throughout my years, I'm an
Yeah.
old man now. But throughout my years, every now and again, I remember dating somebody and then dating someone else and going to the club and they're both there.
No, I'm triggered.
Has that ever happened to you?
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, come on. Give me some.
It's just, it's uncomfortable because I wasn't even really like dating both. I wasn't dating. I was like talking to both of them at the same time.
Bofa.
Both of them at the same
Bofa.
time.
Yeah, like Drake. Both.
I had to, both. What's both? It's both, okay?
Yeah, both.
Period.
BOF.
No, so we were just like, it's so funny how like back when this was happening, I was so like bullied by both of them, thinking that like I was doing something wrong.
Bullied?
Yeah, but I wasn't, because we weren't official. We were literally, in talks and getting to know each other, and
It just didn't
They
work.
made me feel like I was really shitty, but I wasn't.
I feel like that comes from a place of insecurity.
Right.
There's no doubt. Because, I mean, look at you. You're beautiful. you're evolving talent-wise, you're writing music, you're traveling more than the president. I mean, it's wild.
Yeah.
And I think just as from an outside perspective looking in, whether you're gay or straight, whatever, in a relationship.
I'm whatever now.
Are you whatever now?
I'm whatever.
Wait a minute. What does that mean?
I'm nothing.
So you're non-binary? What does this mean?
I just don't want to date anyone ever.
Oh, so you're not, but you've never dated a man, you told me.
No.
Right. You're a gold star. You said on the last episode.
Yeah, I've never really seriously dated a man.
Which in straight terms would fall under the category of virgin? Is this, I mean,
terms.
it's...
Yeah, I've pretty much dated women my entire life.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember you said that when you were first on that your mom knew before you told her.
Yeah, totally.
Which is fucking dope because she just was like on your side from the get-go.
Yeah.
She knew it from the get-go.
Yep.
That's just wild that you've actually never, I'm sure men have thrown themselves at you, right? It's like they're just falling off of a cargo truck.
No.
Like they're, I shouldn't say it. I'll have to edit this.
Truck.
I was going to say they're collapsing like that.
No.
Can't say that. Too soon. Too soon. I'm going to edit that part out.
I'm looking out for you. You're my homie.
Yeah.
No, so I've never dated
Have you
a guy
ever
like that.
wanted to date of the male species? Like, have you ever been attracted to, not even date, but because you are lesbian and you've never been with a man, has there ever been a time now that you're quote unquote whatever?
Yeah.
Right? Have you ever run into somebody of the male sex and said, man, I really like this guy. You kind of like fantasize for a brief moment what life would be like. Have you ever done that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, a few times. But it's almost like it just wouldn't happen. It's not possible. Yeah.
It's just not in your DNA.
It's not.
Really?
No, I feel like it wouldn't be fair to them because it's been done to me.
Really?
Where I'm kind of like a guinea pig to certain people.
Oh.
And then I feel like that would be what they are to me.
I see.
I'm testing the waters.
I'll say right now on behalf of all men, we don't care about being the guinea pig. We're willing to take the hit. Yeah, we're willing to take the loss. It's okay. As long as we could say, bro, I went there.
Yeah, totally. I just don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Don't worry about it. We'll be fine. We'll get over it. I mean, I'm sure you'll break some hearts, but, it's all right. We're strong.
Yeah,
enough.
you will survive.
We'll be at your next appearance, cheering you on. DJ Lezlee, is there anything that you'd like to close out with before I let you go and wrap up this podcast?
I would like to say that, let's see, you can edit this out, right?
Take your time.
Cool.
Take your time.
Is there anything that I would like to say?
Words of wisdom from DJ Lezlee.
Oh man, words of wisdom.
Or just even some last remaining thought that I was going to ask you just in regards to the music. What can we expect in the coming months? Are we going to get a track released? When is it going to happen? Can you say who you're working with?
Okay, so you're definitely going to get a track this summer, okay? And also be on the lookout for a podcast.
Oh!
Yeah.
A DJ Lezlee podcast.
Yes.
Is it through Scam Artists?
No, that's all
separate
through myself. And that should be launching in April.
Is it going to be video or audio only?
Video and audio.
Ooh, that's a whole production.
Video and audio.
And where are you going to be recording this podcast?
What studio?
Yeah, is it the Scam Studios?
No.
Or are you going to be here at iHeart?
No, it's going to be...
Your own studio?
It's going to be my own studio, yeah.
Oh,
in
in
the arts district.
It's at the top of the Hollywood Hills Mountains?
In Griffith.
Right?
Yeah. No, it's a studio. It's going to be like a full production. And that is going to be launching in April.
What's it going to be about?
So my whole thing is, I when I'm not listening to music, I like to listen to podcasts, but I really love like inspiring stories. Like I love a good underdog story, because sometimes I feel like an underdog. I feel like we all kind of have our moments of feeling like an underdog. So yeah, I mean, I want to be able to share people's stories, people that have like literally have had to fight through like life and against all odds and were able to overcome, the shit thrown at them and have been able to succeed.
Do you have one of those stories you can close us out with, like something that's happened to you that you overcame?
Damn, yeah, totally. I mean, let's see.
Or even something that you heard of somebody else. like a preview to your podcast in a sense.
Okay, so I met this like really, really awesome girl, and she'd been to prison. Like her early years were not the best, and she was able to overcome that life, and she's built a really successful business for herself and her family, and that's the stuff that I love.
And you're going to bring guests on?
Yeah.
Right? Like for example, this young lady who went to prison came out, right? Did you say lady?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Make sure I'm not labeling that incorrectly.
No, yeah.
And now she's on Scam Artist, right?
No,
she got signed?
No, she's not a scam artist. Yeah. But I'm saying stories like that. I mean, it could be anything. Like, for me, drinking was a big part of my life. I wasn't at home drinking, getting wasted every night.
Same.
But I was at the club every weekend for like 13 years.
I wish I could say same on that.
My life away.
Right.
And I can say that I can literally go to a gig now and not have a sip of alcohol, and I feel fine. I don't feel tempted. I don't feel like I have to fight the urge.
Right.
And there's so much shit that I've dealt with and have experienced in those years of drinking. And, not a lot of people can say that they overcame that. Yeah.
Let me ask you, did you feel, since you brought that up, and we'll close out pretty soon, but this is a fascinating topic that I relate to like a lot. Did you ever feel like you were addicted, like you were an alcoholic, Lezlee?
In the pandemic, yeah. Only because like pre-pandemic, I never had alcohol in my house ever. In the pandemic, I started, it was like a way of surviving, I guess.
For a lot of people.
Yeah,
What was your drink of choice during the pandemic?
So, like, literally seltzers.
Oh, the seltzers, the hard drinks, right?
Yeah, and it wasn't like I was taking shots, but yeah, sometimes
White Claw,
I would. White Claws, there you go.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I did have a few shots if I was live streaming.
Yeah.
It was like just something that we did.
Yeah.
It got to the point where like every night, if let's say I didn't have any alcohol, my body was telling me like, hey, I need that alcohol.
Start like shaking a little bit. Right?
Anxiety.
Start sweating.
Totally.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
And that lasted for a few weeks, and I finally, like, one day saw a playback video of me DJing.
Like drunk?
No, just, like, super overweight, super swollen.
Yeah.
I'm like, who is that girl?
Right.
Like, I don't know her. And that was really it.
Is that what, like, kind of gave you that inclination that you needed to stop? What was the main thing that gave you that spark? Like, for me, I told you this before. When I woke up on New Year's morning, I didn't even wake up. I was up all night. But 2021, the morning of 2021 arrived, and I tried to go get. Well, I didn't try. I went and got another 6-pack of Stella Artois, right?
God,
the 6-packs, the green bottle from 7-Eleven, 6 a.m. in the morning, right?
Oh my God.
And every sip I drank tasted like
Ass.
like Clorox bleach or like battery acid. It was like my biologically, my body was screaming out to me, that's it, right? I feel like it was the universe or something that had to do with my mom because she died of liver failure. Something was going on that was bigger than I was, that I couldn't explain it to you. It was almost like paranormal, but biologically, like something switched where my body was like, if we're going to survive, you need to stop drinking. We need to stop drinking. And that was it. Believe me, I still finished the 6-pack.
You did.
But with every sip, it was like I was forcing myself. And then I just remember going, that's it. And I never went to AA.
So you knew.
Yeah.
Did you know during that like finishing that 6-pack, like this is going to be it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I did.
okay.
I knew by the first bottle that I finished, I was like, I can't wait to finish this 6-pack because I'm never drinking again. Well, I'm going to try not to. And it's 3 years. Was that video you saw of yourself, what you said, slightly overweight, that what gave you the incentive to want to stop?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Because I didn't recognize that person.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't recognize that person. And I didn't completely stop drinking after that. I it wasn't like a regular thing that I was doing anymore. But, I was like out socially. I'd have a few drinks here and there. And finally, like after the breakup and, I started working out and I really liked how I felt.
Right.
And I noticed like, okay, if I go out to dinner and I have a drink, I'm going to feel like crap the next morning. And I don't like, this feels too good. I don't want to jeopardize how good I'm going to feel for a damn cocktail that is like $20 anyway.
Yeah.
And so after the breakup, I continued, my social drinking here and there. And I just remember always feeling disappointed. It was almost like my self was telling myself, hey, like, why are you still doing this to yourself?
Right.
Like, you can like you don't need this anymore.
Right.
And
it's not helping you.
Yeah, that was really it.
Yeah.
That was it. And my dad was an alcoholic my whole life.
Really?
He stopped kind of like me and you. He just one day was like, hey, this isn't working for me
No
anymore.
AA.
Nothing.
Just, it's weird, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's a blessing, to be honest. Because, I mean, my sister, God bless her, she was a drinker as well, my oldest sister. And she's like militant AA now. She's like, she's like a leader in the AA circles and stuff. I've wanted to go just to go experience it. Even though I don't drink anymore, it's still good. But you see, I'm not completely sober. I still smoke weed and I drink coffee. Those are drugs. And I'm vaping right now, which is nicotine. Those are drugs, but they don't alter my state of consciousness. That's the only problem. That's why I feel if we go back, like a callback to the beginning of this episode, why is wake and baking cool and drinking early in the morning isn't? Because you're not altering your state of consciousness to the point, for me at least, I'm speaking personally, it doesn't mess up or hinder what I'm doing work-wise.
Right.
Granted, when I was drinking, I was still going to work at Power and turning in my work, but I was drunk the whole time. I was what they call a full-functioning alcoholic. Were you a full-functioning alcoholic?
No.
Right?
No,
you weren't.
No, I wasn't. No, I was.
But you can DJ while drunk. I
guess.
You
are.
Guess,
yeah. I mean, but was I really DJing that good? I don't know.
I feel like,
So,
I think you were. I think once you're at a level like where you're at now, Lezlee, I think once you get to that level, even when you mess up, the clubs are way more forgiving than you. If you were DJing drunk on the air, it would be obvious. But when you're in the club, there's a certain kind of swing to how the atmosphere and the frequency, how it all flows. So if you kind of mess up a little bit, nobody's checking.
Gonna notice.
Nobody's checking for real.
You know what's so interesting? Now that I'm not drinking,
go ahead.
I always I think back and I'm like, maybe I'll book more gigs when the people that are hiring see that I'm not drinking, because I wouldn't trust someone that came into work drunk all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's also a trust thing now too, in my opinion. Like, I want club owners and promoters and the people at the corporate companies to say, hey, I trust she's going to come to work and she's not going to be drunk, and she'll save the party for later. Plus, you also don't want to fail the test. It's like, well, let's offer her a drink, and if she takes it, because I almost feel like sometimes it's a setup. Like it's what Vice would say. It's DJing almost is the only job that requires you to drink. Not meaning you have to, but if promoters and club owners are coming up to you with bottles and the girls with the sparklers and they hand you a bottle of 1942 and they're taking a shot, you're almost expected to take a shot, and it's considered rude if you don't. Yeah,
right?
But is it rude?
Is it rude?
Yeah.
And are they only testing you to see how wasted you get?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like it's almost two truths can exist at the same time.
Yeah, totally.
They want you to drink because they want to celebrate you, but they also want to see, can she handle this? Or can he or she or they or whatever, handle this alcohol while DJing and orchestrating shit tons of people.
Yeah,
right?
That's so true. I mean, I would respect somebody that said no more than somebody that felt peer pressured.
I agree.
And so that's why I'm flexing that no muscle.
Just say no.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, and you're doing great in the flexing on those vids too. I like seeing you do the power lifting.
Yeah.
What can you lift now? What's your most weight you can lift?
75. No, maybe 125.
Not bad.
Yeah.
And is that squatting or is that different? Powerlifting.
Squatting is squatting
with the bar across you,
Yeah.
Right. What is that? That's squatting, and then you could do 125 on that.
Yeah.
Damn, you got some powerful ass legs, Lezlee.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Oh, so adorable.
He said, woo.
That's the kind of reaction you give me when I see your face, Lezlee. Let's wrap this up. DJ Lezlee.
Wrap it up.
I want to thank you so much for returning to the podcast.
Yes.
You're probably, aside from Eric Sklar, who's one of the producers at KFI, you are the real first guest that's actually returned on this podcast for a full episode, and it means so much to me, DJ Lezlee. I really love you for doing that, and I appreciate you for being so gracious with your time and your energy.
Listen.
Go ahead.
Anytime, Sketch, but now that just means that you have to come be a guest on my podcast.
I'll raise you, and I will produce the intro.
Whoa!
And outro.
Kidding me? Oh, that is
of whatever
an honor.
you want. Yeah, whatever you want. We will make it happen, and I'll be honored to DJ on my podcast
too?
to produce the intro for your podcast.
Damn.
And maybe an outro, which is usually just a music bed, but hopefully it could be your original music that we use.
So true. That's a good one.
Right?
I like that. That's
What's the name of it, by the way? Do we know the name yet?
No, we don't know the name yet.
Okay.
That's always the hardest part.
Yeah. Well, mine is just the Sketch-O-Matic show. It's
Yeah.
the Sketch-O show. It's super easy. You know how people have like cool names, like Bill Maher has Club Random and, Drink Champs.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody has like a specific name. I like to keep mine kind of more radio related. Even though it's a podcast, the Sketch-O-Matic show, it's just so simple and easy. But people still don't remember it. They go, the Sketch Podcast.
The Sketchy Podcast.
They don't even know the name. They're like, oh, yeah, Sketch's Podcast. They don't know that it's the Sketch-O-Matic show. Whatever. Who cares?
It's going to be cool. Listen, like, sometimes it takes years. Sometimes it takes a few years to get that 1 year that changes your life.
How about,
let
me think of a name right now. Let's see. It'd be called...
My podcast?
Yeah, it would be like DJ Lezlee Mountain High or because you're on top
Mountain
of them.
High.
Yeah, but that's like a name of a high school,
I
I
like where
think.
you're going with this.
Yeah, something like that where it's like, and it embodies you like lifting yourself up, but also in the physical workout aspect of some sort. Like DJ Lezlee.
To the top, DJ Lezlee.
Straight to the top.
Oh, shoot.
Something like that, or what is it? Yours is about like overcoming things, right?
Right.
Overcoming or I don't know. Over it.
I said top thoughts.
Top thoughts?
Top thoughts.
Oh, DJ Lezlee.
But so you'll be a guest on my podcast.
I will.
Because I know you have a lot of really cool stories.
I do. Probably too much, but yeah.
You know too much.
I have a lot of stories of how I almost died. and I didn't. I'm like Leonardo DiCaprio in Revenant.
I love that. It's kind of like my dad.
Yeah. There's been a lot of close calls, my little friend.
You've had a lot of lives.
Almost
like
went flatline. Almost. But, And not for real, but there's been calls where I'm like, wow, I'm afraid to go to sleep because I don't think I'm going to wake back up. That kind of shit where I'm like, shouldn't have done this much coke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But look at you. You're sober.
Sober-ish.
You're killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're killing it.
I'm trying.
You have it under control.
I do. And it's only because I'm, 4,600 years old now. And it's easy, just like you, when you... we're speaking about just in relationships and people like the entourage coming with you and having to cater. You're under control of yourself now and not worried about having to take care of others.
Right.
For me, I don't really I don't go out. I don't party. I don't DJ anymore. I don't really have many friends, to be honest with you, that I go and hang out with. I'm just alone.
Do you like that?
I do. I like being alone, but there's sometimes I feel like I'm not included in things. I'd like to go to some of the events, but then I'm like, yeah, but then when I do get invited, I'll be honest, there's times where I'm like, why did I say yes to this shit?
You sound like me right now.
You do that?
Yes.
Like, did you do that coming here?
No, I'm a loner.
Same.
And I've accepted that I am a loner.
Yes.
And I don't mind it.
I'm content with being alone. I'm never bored. I always have shit to do.
Yeah, same.
Always.
Same.
But I do enjoy just sitting and doing nothing, which is in itself of doing something. Do you like doing nothing in the dark?
Absolutely. I used to judge my grandma because she used to do that.
Podcast
and I used to think like, why is she sitting in her living room alone in the dark? I'm my grandma now.
Name of the podcast.
Talk
DJ
to me.
Lezlee, Out of the Dark.
Out of the dark. Not DJ Lezlee Out of the Closet.
That could work too. That could work too. I feel like somebody already has that though, for sure.
It's a store.
In the LGBTQ plus community.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something.
Out of the Closet would seem like a go-to.
You're right. Okay. Out of the dark.
Out of the dark or...
in the dark.
Seeing in the dark.
Seeing in the dark.
Like, because, clubs are dark.
Yeah.
And you have to see in the dark when you're DJing. I don't know. We'll think of something.
Yeah, something will
It's
come
a work
up for
in
sure.
progress.
I like this.
DJ Lezlee,
Thank you.
I really appreciate you again. And I know you got to go, so let me just state that I love you dearly.
Oh, I love you.
You are such a breath of fresh air and a positive force for good. And I enjoy seeing you evolve and climb higher and higher in your DJing and music career.
Thank you.
All right, DJ Lezlee. Till next time when I'm on your podcast.
You're so crazy.
Oh, good for you. And how was it?
The Sketch-O-Matic Show.
Hey, too much information and shit, man.
Shut your mouth, S.A.
Okay,
Okay, bye.
Remember when dubstep was like real big?
Yeah.
I used to love that hard. It sounded like computers were possessed.
Yes.
And they're fighting each other. I like that.
Yeah.
It's like violent.
You nailed it. That was so good.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Oh my God.